Politricks watch. This is Sergey. Now, today I'm going to be talking about Central Village. Right. It look like say them a play real life Squid Games in the community. I'm also going to briefly touch on some JCF data and then move straight into talking about or addressing some comments made by your favorite CEO, Shane Darling. So I could just go straight into it. Central Village. Spooky area. We're supposed to know that by now. From time to time, when the place get hot, 87 start lay down them own laws. This is not unique to Central Village, by the way. All over Jamaica, we see gangs operate in a some manner where even the government can't do. Them do have to drop no curfew like the police. Them not have to pass no new laws. Them not have to update no. Them just say, don't do it, and people can't do it. Why? Because people know so if them do it, them are dead. When the lane them in a Central Village kick off, I said them start a parade. But I know you should know Central Village have all kind of lane. Like the Zion lane and the big lane and the little lane and all kind of things. Recently, them fall out again. Well, them always fall out, but things flare up and get worse sometimes. Recently, them flare up and them start to the people them say, don't make no catch you or walk past certain place. Yes, adults are being told them can't walk certain place. Mandela has basically become a borderline, so to speak, for enough people. Some gangs have gone as far as tell people them say, don't make we see her walk across and I go certain place, otherwise they are dead. Because according to the gang them, you go over there go carry news. If you come from this lane, you can't cross and go over to that lane. And if you come from this lane, you can't stand up on this spot of Mandela. Again, we're talking about gangs here. It's almost like real life Squid Games. Red light, green light. Big people have to shuffle. Right, look careful in my walk. Oh, we can't go here, so alright, make a walk, go wait on the incident that we can get past them run here, so. Why are people having to live like this? Why are Jamaicans having to live by the borders drawn by criminals? You see, Iron is weird because it has a government, but it feels like there is no government. It has security forces, but it feels like there is no security forces. Because gunmen are supposed to lay down them lawyer. You see, when Somalia, did have them government get toppled, for a long period of time, the country went without no official government. And if that is what happened in Ariman, then we could have said, well, you can see why gangs end up start telling people say you can't go here so, and you can't walk here so. But Jamaica have a government. Jamaica have politicians. Jamaica has a military, Jamaica has a police force. But gangs operate like them own government. Pass them own laws. I will tell people say, you can't go here so, you can't go here so. People have to replan them route to survive. People have to come on a taxi and have to strategize like them turn map specialists. People have to draw for GPS, to come up with new routes to get round borders with gang draw. Man, I go tell people say you come from this lane, so you can't go that bus stop, and people have to abide by it. Or else. That's the reality of Ironman. Let me say, it happened at Central Village, but it's not village alone. All over Ironman. But I've had recently them kill a youth and bury him and just find his body. Another youth, PPS him the hospital, with him eyes them took out. Notice Central Village 87 them are thing for eyes. And I've covered several stories now. And I keep hearing about the eyes them, and keep a take out eyes, took out eyes. Very spooky. But village is a spooky place. Let me move into some data quickly before we go on definitely. When we look on the JCF website, Messi said murders are up 8% year on year. We see 9 people said 35 last week. Yes, 35 people. But shootings are down 5% year on year. Interesting. Just slightly over 1,000 shootings. But with the over 1,300 murders. But when I already say 87s have a whole lot more firepower now. So even though they have less shootings, they can still rack up more dead bodies. They might fire chip Glock, they might fire AR, all kind of things. So now, double murders, triple murders are more common. So even if shootings are go down, murders are go up. Gangs are heavily armed. Gangs are, as I say, well strapped. Strap up like a Wolf Creek. Strap like a John Sport. But you know who isn't strapped? The majority of Jamaican civilians. Law-abiding civilians. I'm going to touch upon a little clip from Mr. Get sent to me. Shane Darling, the CEO, FLA speaking. Sound like he's back with the trolling, because sometimes when Shane Darling talk, I don't know if he's trolling or if he's being serious. And let me just say this. Every time the debate come up, I tell them that they don't need to be a debate. Some people, they're not a gun thing. Some people don't support guns. Great. Call the police. We don't need to go back and forth. We don't need to argue back. You do your thing. Just if, and I hope you never have to. I hope you're never ever faced with no real threat of violence to you or your family. But if you are, just call the police. We don't need to argue or debate. Just call the police. Right? You have faith in the justice system. You have faith in the authorities in Ireland that they will be able to protect you in time. So just call the police. So I'm going to play the clip. Check this out.
Based on our investigation reports received and our own review of that, we don't believe that arming the public generally will lead to a reduction in crime.
You do or don't?
We don't.
Don't.
We have made checks across jurisdictions to see if this has ever helped. And we have found that a more restrictionist approach, in fact, I believe New Zealand New Zealand did an entire bring back the gun campaign in terms of taking back legal guns and making it restrictive.
Let me start this. Comparing Ireland to Australia or New Zealand is downright ridiculous. I mean, the fact that he was allowed to continue and none of the people that were interviewing or checking on it is mind-boggling to me. But this is a small clip. I don't know if afterwards, or I don't know if in the full interview, right, them asking both and them questioning about it. But the fact that they make him continue. He might bring up Australia and New Zealand as like what a case studies for what would work in Ireland. None of those countries have ever seen the level of murder that Jamaica have dealt with. The vast majority of murders in Jamaica are done with illegal firearms. Therefore, any case study talking about legal firearms in other countries is simply not valid. Australia, New Zealand, Canada, these countries were never top 5 murder countries. If you're going to compare countries and their tactics, then you must have similar issues. Jamaica can only be compared to countries like El Salvador, Honduras, Trinidad, Brazil, etc. Show a go on to them country and then say, well, this is what might happen in Jamaica. Well, you can't look for New Zealand, Australia, Switzerland and them places, and Norway, Singapore and all these places and say, well, look what them do. They've never had to deal with this issue. Therefore, the policies that they make, right, cannot be compared to the policies where Jamaica could potentially pass. I mean, just think about it. People in Russia are debating whether gloves or putting your hands in your pocket is the better way to keep warm during sub-zero temperatures. Some genius Russian says, well, in Jamaica, they put their hands in their pocket. So that's proof, says better. That is complete nonsense. Why? Jamaica, right, don't have sub-zero temperatures. Therefore, using Jamaica as what would work in Russia is simply farcical. Jamaica cannot be used to support or discredit any debate, right, on Russia winter hand warming strategy. Jamaica simply can't relate. Our climate, even in December, is nowhere close to Russia. So a Russian trying to say, but look what Jamaicans do, is foolish. That's how Shane Darling saw him say, yeah, but Australia, not even close. Not even close. In Brazil, when the president changed in 2019, he said one of his policy them was he would make firearms more easily accessible to the average Brazilian. The Brazilian activist said murder rate is going to skyrocket. What happened? Brazil just see its lowest murder rate in 15 years. This is a fact. This is a fact. You can go and check it for yourself. Do you know what the Brazilian activists them say? After them say, bringing this policy is going to make murder rate skyrocket. Do you know what them say now? Oh, the only reason why the murder rate drops so low is because of the old policy that we put in years ago. So when they say, these people are not driven by facts or data, it don't mean nothing to them. They are driven by their feelings. They have an anti-gun sentiment. Therefore, all if you show them say, see it, murder just fell to the lowest in 15 years after more people got legal firearms. Them say that now have nothing to do with it. Or because of the old policy we did do 15 years ago. And that's why. Then why never drop murders 15 years ago? Or even 5 years ago? Why the murder just so happen to drop at the same time when the legal firearm restrictions were relaxed? And Shane Darling is one of these anti-gun activists. I can prove it to you. Listen up.
Other countries who have made it very restrictive in owning firearms have also seen success in that regard. It is not illegal guns in and of themselves that are the problem. Guns, we must look at it holistically. Guns are a problem.
Did you just hear that? Shane Darling, the CEO of FLA, just said illegal guns in itself are not the problem. Guns are the problem. Shane Darling just said it's not the illegal guns, but guns in general. Shane Darling is anti-gun. Full stop. How can the CEO of the body that give out gun license have these kind of views on guns? This is like making a vegan the head of the meat licensing authority. Surely the person who is making the decisions, surely the CEO of a body like FLA should be more balanced. I'm not saying they should be all out for guns, but at least be more balanced. Shane Darling is anti-gun. The man just said it's not illegal guns in itself, it's guns, full stop. Did you not just hear that? This man don't have a problem with illegal guns, he has a problem with guns. And that's fine, he's entitled to that view. But the problem arises when that man is in charge of a body that is supposed to be distributing or issuing the licenses for guns. People who go to FLA to try and get the means to defend themselves. Don't go there to get lectured, right, about what is moral and what isn't, and if guns are good or bad. Right? They go there because they want the means to defend themselves. They go there because they want to give themselves a fighting chance. Imagine we're having a discussion about car accidents. And we say, alright, drunk driving is a problem. And the CEO for that body said, no, drunk driving is not the problem. Driving is the problem. People having cars is the problem. Wouldn't you look at that man like, is he serious right now? Of course, if there were no cars, there would be no car accidents. Of course, if there were no guns, there would be no shootings. But there are guns. And 87s have enough of them. So what should law-abiding people do? Give up theirs? Don't get any? And then hope they never face an 87? Oh, sorry, I forgot. Call the police. If a taxi man or a farmer is trying to defend himself, his family, his livelihood, he's going to have to deal with somebody who is inherently against the tool that enables him to have a fighting chance against criminals. This is the problem with idealism. Sure, in an ideal world, there would be no guns and nobody not get shot. But in the real world, there are thousands of illegal firearms in the hands of criminals. This was never about law-abiding people going out there to hunt down 87s and fighting a crime and law murder rate. This is about what is available that gives a law-abiding citizen the best chance to defend himself and his family against and 87 with a gun? The answer is not a knife. The answer is not a cutlass. The answer is a gun. And as me say, if you're anti-gun, you don't believe in guns, you don't like gun, great, good for you. Call the police. Anytime something bad happen with a licensed firearm holder, Shane Darling turn up and say, see, this is why only enough you have now. When something happens good, when somebody see for them life or somebody else's life, Shane Darling is nowhere to be found. As me said, the man is anti-gun fully, and that's fine. If he wasn't the CEO of FLA, if he was just a citizen, I'm yard with these views, that's fine. But this man is in charge of FLA. You see, what no founder don't want to accept is the reality of Ironman and the reality of bodies like FLA that exist in Ironman. When you don't want to accept the message they must send to you. When you want to lie to yourself. When you want to cushion the blow. When are you going to realize that FLA as a body and the people at the Ministry of National Security that empower the FLA do not think that all Jamaican lives are worth defending equally? FLA gun policy is not based on logic or necessity, contrary to what them say, because when FLA are turning down, them say something like, them don't think you need it or them don't see a reason. They make it sound like, based on the extensive investigation them do, them don't think it's necessary for you. This is nonsense. It is based on the perceived value of the individual's life. Let me say that again, because no people are starting to offended. FLA turn it down because of the perceived value of how much your life is worth. Want me to prove it? I'll prove it right now with an argument based on solid logic and reason, and I dare anyone to counter it. Get any scholar at UWI or UTech to counter this argument. If FLA gun license policy was based on necessity, do you know who would have the most licensed gun in Jamaica? Ghetto people. Let me say that one more time. Bring your scholar come, bring your professor come, bring Shane Darling come, bring any journalist come, and let's have the debate. Run up and get done up. If FLA's policy was based on logic or necessity, the people in Jamaica who would have the most licensed firearm are lower income people. But instead, it's the reverse. We're going down that road now. People are getting them can crush now. South St. Andrew, Mobile, Spanish Town, these are the places that top the murder charge every year. Residents from them places are more likely to face a 87, as in actually look them at the face, walk up in a one, deal with one, than the CEO, than the vice president, than the MP. Right. Anybody want to debate this? Yet still, who is more likely to get one? Come on, talk to me, people. If the system was based on logic, then being from these areas should increase your chances of getting a gun. Instead, it's the reverse. It doesn't increase your chances. When FLA say, why do you want a firearm? Then somebody will be able to show them address and say, see, I am from South St. Andrew, that is my reason. Why do you want a licensed firearm? I am from South St. Andrew, I am from Chadiga Park, I am from Lariston, that's the reason. Instead, that more likely to get you rejected. FLA's policy is not based on logic or necessity. It is based on the perceived value of the individual's life. You, Mr. Bigwig, and your family, here you go. Defend yourself. Matter of fact, you want shotgun. And it's astonishing that the people who are discriminated against by this policy are take side with FLA. I say, well, FLA only look over people because FLA don't want nobody get vexed and cut the crap. You think Shane Darling business about you? You think FLA business about you? There are 45,000 gun owners in Jamaica. That's a massive group of people to do any kind of case study on. Contrary to what Shane Darling wanted to believe, licensed firearm holders killing anybody, whether them spouse or somebody them vex on the road, is extremely rare. 45,000 are enough people. You must can show us, right, the hundreds and hundreds of cases. Jamaica have 1,500 murders every year. 45,000 gun owners. That means if those 50% of the 45,000 shot one somebody each, Jamaica's murder rate would be astronomical. If 10% of 45, if 10% of legal gun owners in Jamaica did not kill people, those numbers will be reflected in Jamaica's annual murder charge. It's not because it's not happening. The vast majority, and I mean overwhelming majority of murders in Jamaica, are done with illegal weapons. And here's the thing. No gun owner in Jamaica pass a psychiatric evaluation before them get a firearm. None. Right? I can tell you exactly how this thing works. You don't do any psychiatric evaluation. You don't pass an IQ test. You don't go to the lab and them examine your brain and say, this person right there so is at the highest level of IQ, EQ, discipline, they're ready for a gun. That's not what happens. So why do some of the people in Jamaica who have licensed firearm think they're deserving but other people are not? Now, let me just say this. There's a group of licensed firearm holders out there who think them brighter, smarter, more deserving than anybody else. Them have gun, but you not forget none. For them family we're protecting, yours isn't. Let me tell you so well, yeah, because someone might get vexed and shot, man. Or we know you not get vexed and shot, man. Why is your family we're protecting, but that man family isn't? Why don't you call the police? You don't live in a bad man place, but you're armed to the teeth. You don't face clansmen on a daily basis. You don't face busted on a daily basis, but you have 3-4 guns in your yard. Meanwhile, you support people like Shane Darling in stopping the people who are statistically more likely to face a gunman. Stopping these people from having the ability to arm themselves based on how you feel and what you think might happen. But you will not hand over your guns because of your life alone, special man. A your family alone we're protecting. Because let's assume everything Shane Darling say is correct. You know what? End of the debate. Shane Darling is right. You know what's the next step? Take away every legal firearm in Jamaica. I'm going to show you right now so these people are hypocrites and frauds. I changed my stance. Shane Darling is right. Shane Darling is correct. Mr. Shane Darling, the next step right now, take away every legal firearm in Jamaica. Make 87s alone of them. Make 87s and the police alone of them. Shane Darling announced Monday morning that everybody with a legal firearm must bring it in. Do you know what would happen to Shane Darling? He would lose his job. He would immediately lose his job. Do you know why? Do you know why Shane Darling would lose his job? If him say, bring in all legal firearms. He would be denying the people at the very top of society the ability to be armed. Let me say that one more time. Shane Darling would lose his job if him say bring in all legal guns because he would be denying the people in the upper echelons of society for them gun. And they will not accept that. Why would no one call the police? But what's the matter? You don't need no gun. Based on what Shane Darling is saying, less legal gun is a good thing. Less guns overall is a good thing. So if there is 1,500 illegal guns and 500 legal guns, 2,000 total, take away the 500 legal guns, right? And then by Shane Darling's logic, society will be a better place. Mr. Bigwig, you know you are not giving up your gun. And you would not tolerate Shane Darling taking away your gun. But unless that happens, you don't care. You are happy to make other people call the police. As long as you are right. Iron Man. Any legal gun owner who supports Shane Darling's stance is as real as a $6,000 bill. And you are a fraud. Because if you truly believe what Shane Darling is saying, then you should give up your gun and you should call the police. And you should rely on the government to protect your family. But you don't. You don't, because you know in this game it's a matter of seconds and on time to call the police. So let's stop pretending like when Shane Darling speak, or when FLA speak, or when the Ministry of National Security speak, it have anything to do, right, with any form of reason or logic behind it. That is why the people them who get attacked the least have the most gun. The people them who get attacked the most have the least gun. FLA, like most other bodies and authorities and agencies in Jamaica, is not for the ordinary man. It is not set up in mind, right, for the regular citizen benefit. Politicians have 68 gun, man dead left 68 gun. Run the data and you will see for yourself that legal firearms are disproportionately distributed amongst people, right, who suffer the least when it comes down to violence. And someone who belong to the group that get discriminated the most, I back Shane Darling off her feelings. When me feel that if man have gone, if somebody have a license firearm and the music shoot them wife, then sentence them to prison, 500 years, I don't care. If a man have a license firearm, road rage, him shoot man, sentence him as long as you want, I don't care. But don't tell me that a man who's trying to defend this farm from people who are thief him go at them, a man who try to stop gunman from run up in them taxi, run up in them home, shouldn't have the ability to defend himself, because the man don't there so they shoot female, or the man they run there so they shoot. The same way you getting drunk and killing somebody in your car don't affect my ability to drive. And the same way what you do with your gun shouldn't affect me. Anyway, Patreon squad, big up on yourself. Yeah, you don't know, more life. Ultra squad, stay circle. Bless.